Good evening, and welcome back. We're back in the church this evening, and I'm Kevin Barger, the Director of Music here at Epiphany Lutheran in Richmond, Virginia, and this is our Music Minute, a part of our Social Persisting series, trying to keep us together when we are physically apart. Today we're going to talk about Pentecost hymns, so it's very exciting. Tomorrow will, of course, be some say the birthday of the church. And we have lots of imagery and fire and spirit and wind and all those fun Pentecost things, many tongues. So we're going to start off with actually our hymn of the day tomorrow. This is God of Tempest, God of Whirlwind. And this tune actually appears in our hymnal 3 times. And what makes this particular version that we're singing tomorrow is, check out the title again. It's God of Tempest, God of Whirlwind. So you're not going to hear peaceful and calm images in this, like you might think of this peaceful wind blowing through the trees kind of a thing. Instead, what you're going to hear is Pentecost will be called out early on when we sing this in one of the first phrases, but then we get tempest, whirlwind, blazing, burning, earthquake, thunder, passion without sleep, and then we have petitions that are equally maybe as stirring, if you will. They drive us to costly service. They want to kindle the truth against deceit of injustice, which is particularly fitting for the experience that we've been having throughout the country this week particularly. Break the chains of sin and walls that divide us, and stir in us a restlessness that is not controlled with evil. So the second phrase of this you might find particularly interesting tomorrow. I found it interesting. It is, drive us out from sheltered comfort, put those walls your people send, past these walls your people send. So in our time of quarantine and as we start to open up, those are very ironic words, if you will. So this is based on a Welsh tune, and here is God of Tempest, God of Whirlwind. so you can feel the tempest, feel the power. All right. The next hymn that we'll be doing may not be as well known as the first one was. This is Gracious Spirit, Heed Our Pleading. And this was actually written in 1965, and it was when the Evangelical Lutheran churches in the Tanzanian united. In Tanzania, they united to form one Lutheran church. And so it was set to a melody that was common to Uganda. And what you find in here are great imagery. You lead, nourish, teach, bless, guide, motivate, fear, free, quiet us, keep us, fervent, zealous. So it's fairly easy to sing. You'll find that out tomorrow. It's sort of a call and response kind of a thing. And parts can easily be added. You'll get to hear some of that tomorrow. And I've added some parts in percussion today. So we have some maybe off-screen things you might hear to add some excitement to this one. So here we have Gracious Spirit, Heed Our Pleading. There's lots of pages to this one. Piece to sing, and if you've joined in with evening prayer anytime this week, Pastor Joseph has been using that particular hymn this week, so lots of opportunities to learn it if you didn't know it, so hopefully it's more familiar now. Now we're going to move over to the organ, and our gathering hymn tomorrow will be O Day Full of Grace. And the hymn that you will see and hear tomorrow is especially special in that the Association of Lutheran Church Musicians has created a virtual rendition of this that involves over 1,300 individuals from across the country. And so we look forward to seeing that tomorrow in worship as we sing it. The sort of origin of this was from our Scandinavian heritage, and the text writer for this was a writer that wrote essays, articles, poems, reviews, and he was actually a very instrumental person in the development of the Lutheran Book of Worship that was in 1978 premiered. So the composer was from a Danish tradition, and he was a Danish church musician, and he was probably best known for his improvisational skills. And in particular, he wrote an improvisation on a piece that lasted for 30 minutes. It was a double fugue, and it was very involved, but he just, off the cuff, for 30 minutes, went on and created this piece, so it's pretty impressive. So here's O Day Full of Grace. This is a suite on O Day Full of Grace, so it's a little bit longer. Each verse is supposed to capture sort of the verse of the words. So what you'll hear in the first sort of fanfare introduction is the O Day Full of Grace that now we see. The second is a trumpet tune, and that is based on O Day Full of Grace, O Blessed Time. And then the third verse is for Christ bore our sins and not his own. That's more introspective, as you'll hear. And then we go back to an invention that God came to us then at Pentecost, and you'll sort of hear the dancing and the wind and the spirit. And then it ends with a pretty big finale when we on that final journey go. So when we on that final journey go, that would be quite a send-off. So thanks for joining tonight. We have tomorrow morning, of course, worship at 10:30 here on Facebook Live and our YouTube channel. There is Lego and Learn at 9 o'clock via Zoom, as well as the Apostles' Creed series via Zoom that has been going on for several weeks. And we hope to see you in worship again at 10:30. Thanks for joining. We'll see you next week.